Thank you. Thank you very much, Aditya Narayan Prabhu, for your kind words of welcome. I seek permission and blessings of all of you, and especially Apurva Prabhu and Kamalini Mataji. Thank you. Prabhu has asked me to speak on the topic how Srimad Bhagavatam nourishes the heart and the mind. So, I will be sharing with you briefly two important principles from Srimad Bhagavatam by which we can feel loved by Krishna. Because that's the best way to nourish our heart and mind. Once we feel loved by Krishna, then we'll always find our mind and heart peaceful. There are two very important principles the Bhagavatam teaches us on how we can feel love. But before we discuss that, I want to ask if you can just raise your hand to answer. Why do you think this is important? Why do you think we need to feel loved by Krishna? What do you think are the benefits of feeling loved by Krishna? What will happen if we feel loved by Krishna? Yes, Prabhu.
Peaceful, satisfied in your heart.
You become peaceful and satisfied in your heart if you feel loved by Krishna. Okay, thank you.
Love.
You won't look for love you won't look for love in this world then. And you won't feel disappointed because of not getting it sufficiently. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. You will love it, life itself. Beautiful answer, profound answer. Because most people are cynical, frustrated, miserable. But if you feel loved by Krishna, then you will love life. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Mataji. You will feel the chances of going back to Krishna more. Thank you.
You will not be envious.
You will not be envious of others. You got higher taste. Yes.
Love is the inherent nature of the soul. To love and to be loved. So that's the soul. That's what the soul is now.
Yes. That's our natural. And also if you feel loved by Krishna, we will love everyone. Srila Prabhupada gives the example in Nectar of Devotion that that's the main switch. If you switch on, then the other switches, other sources of light are also on. So Krishna is the main switch. Yes, all of you are right. So we have enough reasons to understand how we can feel loved by Krishna. There are many ways of looking at this topic. And there are many principles suggested by many devotees. And what I am going to share, these two principles, they are not the most important. I repeat, they are not sacrosanct, or this is not the only way. But there's a reason why I am discussing these two principles. But what is the most important principle to feel loved by Krishna? And that is when we have blessings of other Vaishnavas. Without blessings, we can't get Krishna's love. Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. Only Vaishnava by his blessings can give us Krishna. So before Rupa Goswami, see, our main Acharya is Rupa Goswami. He got mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. The Ante Leela 4th chapter describes in amazing detail. This is like the most important chapter for ISKCON devotees, because our founder, Srila Prabhupada's, we are in the lineage of Rupa Goswami. We are Rupanugas. This chapter shows how Rupa Goswami is recognized as the most empowered Vaishnava. The 4th chapter of Ante Leela, where all devotees tested him and he passed with flying colors. He answered all questions, and it was established for all time to come that Rupa Goswami is the recipient of the Lord's most intimate mercy. And that chapter begins with the verse, Durgame Patimandasya. Can you repeat this verse? Wait. I'll say it first and then you can repeat. And if I forget, some of you will have to. It's Ante Leela, 4th chapter. 4th chapter, verse number 2. Okay, please repeat. Durgame Patimandasya Skalat Padagatermuhu Swakripayashti Dhanena Santah Santavalambanam. So Kaviraj Goswami says this path of spirituality is very, very difficult path. Durgame Pati, and I am blind. Imagine you are walking on a very difficult path and you are blind. Skalat Padagatermuhu. On top of it, it's slippery. It's a very difficult path. I am blind and it is slippery. And Skalat pada gater muhu. And I'm slipping and falling and rising and again slipping. So if you're on a path, you are blinded, you're slippery, you are struggling, you're falling down, what do you need which will help you to walk smoothly? Support. Swakripa yashti danena. You need a stick. And that stick is mercy of Vaishnava. Santah santavalambanam. The stick of mercy of devotees is what will help us walk this most difficult slippery path. So therefore, how much ever we speak on the importance of blessing, that will be less. But I'm not going to speak today on the importance of blessings, because once I remember my Guru Maharaj told one of my god brothers, he said, Maharaj, please give me your blessings. And my Guru Maharaj very gravely told him, Prabhu, blessings are always there, but are you receiving them? I was nearby. When I heard it, I was sobered. And that's when I realized there are two principles which may not be the most important, but we neglect them all the time. These are the most neglected principles. Please listen to this carefully. As your friend, younger brother, well-wisher, older brother, whatever, I am just sharing my thoughts based on what I've heard from my spiritual teachers. First principle is, as devotees, we need to choose or manage our thoughts. We need to choose thoughts. Second principle, we need to receive Krishna's presence. Have you heard it? First one, choosing thoughts. Second, receiving presence. Receiving presence means mindful, being present. You know, have you heard this Buddhist people? They always talk about it. Be here now, be present. They keep saying this. They are not without a reason. They're not speaking nonsense. We are spiritualizing that concept by saying we need to receive Krishna's. Like, for example, you're taking Krishna Prasad. We need to be present. We are listening to Kirtan. We are chanting. We are taking darshan. Sometimes I don't know if I've experienced, we take darshan for 10 minutes in front of the deities. And then we are going out. Somebody asks us, what color was the deity's turban? I don't know. That means I wasn't taking darshan. I was not present. Where was I? So receiving Krishna's presence means being mindful. Choosing thoughts is being conscious, being aware of what we are thinking. Choosing, it's not that we are helpless. Okay? Okay, now there's a disclaimer. After hearing these two principles, some of you will think, oh, okay, if I do this, I will and I should and I must feel loved by Krishna. Wait, we are not yogis. We cannot demand to love Krishna. We cannot achieve love of Krishna. Love of Krishna is not achieved. Love of Krishna is received. It's a gift that Krishna will give us. It's not that, okay, I've figured out, I learned the formula and now I know how to crack it. No, there are no hacks here. We are just doing this to show Krishna. Krishna, see, I'm sincerely trying. Please fill my heart with your love. Is that okay? So this is very, very important disclaimer. Now, why I'm speaking on these two principles before we dive into Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to know that these two principles are simply a bridge which will help us travel the journey from one island to the next island. There are two islands here. One island is the island of noise, action, loudness, where we are talking about Jai Srila Prabhupada, I love Krishna, I want Krishna Prem. This is all noise, sound, speech, action, but there may be no feelings of love. And there is another island, the world, where there is deep longing for Krishna. And to travel from this island to this island, we need a bridge. And that bridge is these two principles. This bridge is made of choosing our thoughts and receiving presence. Because there are devotees in our movement who have, after decades of sincere service, at some point of time felt that the process doesn't work, or they have been slighted or insulted, and they have left the movement. There are instances. You may think, oh, they were serving Krishna. How did they leave? That means simply service is not a guarantee. Simply being in the moment is not a guarantee of feeling love. You can't say, just hang on, Prabhu. You will develop love of Krishna. That won't happen. Just hanging on, just being with devotees will not help us get love of Krishna. We need to do two things. What is that? Choose our thoughts and receive Krishna's presence. Because love of Krishna is like a wave in the heart. It's a feeling which will come. It's a wave in the consciousness. We cannot describe it. It's ineffable. At the same time, there are some things we can do. We can choose our thoughts. See, sound can be at 4 levels. Sound at the level of the soul. When the soul speaks or the soul hears, that sound is called paravak. That's the voice of the soul, which we cannot describe with our intelligence and mind. So we will not discuss that topic today. Because anyway, it's futile, because it's a voice of the soul and voice of Krishna. How can our intelligence decipher a language of the soul? Soul is spiritual, intelligence is material. So it's no point talking about it. Paravak we cannot describe. That is the voice of the soul. Now the sound that you're hearing right now on the microphone, it's amplified. This sound is called what? Vaikari. Vaikari is physical sound that manifests in this world. Speech is Vaikari. Is that okay? Speech is Vaikari sound. But the same speech could be rehearsed in the mind. I may be speaking it in thought form. That is Madhyama Vak. See, you may tell someone, I love you. That is Vaikari. But you may have chosen a thought. I really love this person. You may not have spoken it. That's Madhyama Vak. When you actually spoken it, or that sound was created in the thought form. That's Madhyama Vak. And a love wave may have rushed through your heart. That's Pashyanti Vak. That's a feeling that cannot be described or that cannot be put in thoughts or words. Speech, thoughts and feelings. Is this getting too technical? Simple. It's like this. You tell someone, I am going to temple to take darshan of Radha Golokanand. You tell your family member, I am going to the temple. That is Vaikari. You are taking a shower and you choose a thought. I should go to temple. You haven't told this to anyone as yet, but you consciously choose a thought. I will go to temple. That is Madhyama Vak. That is thought. And when you are taking shower, suddenly a wave of love and shelter may have filled your heart, that just thinking of the temple may have made you feel that I am going home, or you may have felt a sense of belongingness. So that wave, that shelter, that feeling is Pashyanti Vak. It also has sound, but that sound cannot be explained in words or thoughts. That's Pashyanti Vak. That is feeling. So sound can be feeling, sound can be thought, sound can also be speech. Today we are talking about choosing thoughts. Because if you choose thoughts, feelings will also come eventually. Because feelings, okay, which comes first? Feelings or thoughts?
Thoughts.
Feelings. Which comes first, chicken or the egg? That's the way it is. Chicken or the egg. So feelings sometimes create thoughts. Thoughts create feelings. But we can't choose our feelings, but at least we can choose our thoughts. Feelings come like a wave. So that's why we're working on the thoughts. Is that okay? So Pashyanti Vak is very subtle. Feelings will, like somebody says, I love my mother. You read this sentence, I love my mother. This is in English. Now some tribal man in the village of Madhya Pradesh in India, he hears this sentence, I love my mother. He doesn't know English. He doesn't not only, for him it is simply words, sound. Doesn't make any sense. He's like, it's just some sound. Now you and me, let's say I am somebody who is just learning English. And oh, I love my mother. I think I know what it means. Let me see the dictionary. Mother, what does mother mean? So he checks his Hindi, English dictionary. Then he understands, I love my mother. He understands what it means. He has gone a little deeper. But somebody whose mother tongue is English and he hears the phrase, I love my mother, immediately he remembers his mother and is filled with love and affection and gratitude. It comes as a feeling in the heart. So all of us, we are like that second person who is trying to learn the language of Krishna consciousness. When we hear the word Krishna, we hear Krishna consciousness. It's familiar, but we are not sure. We need dictionary. We need to understand what it means. That's why we need to choose thoughts. Choosing thoughts is what will help us go deeper and connect with Krishna. Very, very, very important. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, chanting can be simply alphabets of the language, Hare Krishna is meaningless without going deeper into thoughts and shelter. When Vaishnapriya Keshav Prabhu was singing so beautifully, I was remembering the first kirtan I attended as a young boy. Same experience I had, that joy. But because I was not trained, it was simply the melody which attracted me. Sometimes in kirtan also we like the melody to keep changing every 2 minutes. Because we are at the Vaikari level, we want to feel good. We don't invest thoughts, we don't enter into the space of shelter. In fact, the first kirtan I attended, I was in another world only. The singer was singing, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And I was there remembering a Bollywood song which had the same melody. Apna dil to avar jaane. I was also zooming in the kirtan. I had nothing to do with the holy name. I was in another world. So it was Vaikari. It didn't make any sense to me. And then the singer changed the melody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And my heart was like, "Hey, dil mujhe bata de, kis pe aa gaya hai." Another Bollywood song. I know one devotee, not in our temple, but I know him. He spent a lot of time on the radio listening to Bollywood songs and fixing the tune into Hare Krishna. So anyway, that's another topic. But the point I'm making is, Vaikari is useless. We can't advance in Krishna consciousness if we are stuck at simply sound. We need to enter deeper into thoughts. We have to choose thoughts. Choosing thoughts, unfortunately, right now, thoughts are choosing us. They just come like a tsunami and they just overwhelm us. It's okay. Don't get depressed. I'm just saying, at least sometime, consciously, we need to choose thoughts. That's it. Is that okay? So how do we do that? Bhagavatam has many, many examples for both the principles. So third canto, Kapila Dev is telling Mother Devahuti. You can repeat this verse, please. Madashraya katamrishtha Shrinvanti katayanti cha Tapanti vividastapa Naitan madgata chetasa. What Kapila says, who are the happiest people in the world? He says, they are completely in love with me. Madashraya katamrishtha shrinvanti katayanti. They are only glorifying me and they are hearing me. And because of this, tapanti vividastapa naitan. The tapa, the burning of material world. Tapa means you are getting burned from below. You're being cooked. You're being roasted. They don't feel the heat and the burning of this material world because they have jumped out of the fire. And they are in Krishna. So you may say, well, I'm in the movement for 25 years. I'm also hearing, chanting, going to temple, doing seva, but I still feel the heat burning. I still feel I'm not happy. Still I don't feel ecstasy. And the last line Kapila Dev says, why that's happening to us? Because the last line, can you repeat again? Naitan madgata chetasa. Naitan madgata chetasa. Prabhupada translates chetasa. as thoughts. So Prabhupada says, because we have not chosen our thoughts, we are in the moment, but we are not with Krishna. You can be in ISKCON and not be with Krishna because we're not choosing our thoughts. We are just there going with the motions. You know the burning frog syndrome? You put a big pot of boiling water and you throw a frog inside, the frog will jump out. But if you keep the frog in that water and it's a normal temperature water, the frog will swim comfortably in that water. And slowly you raise the temperature, the frog won't realize. And slowly keep raising the temperature, and at one point of time, the frog will realize it's burning me, but it's too late. The frog would lack the ability to jump out and he'll be burnt, roasted, cooked. Many of us are like that frog. We are in this pot of boiling water in material world and we are being burnt and we are comfortable in our suffering. And by the time we realize I have to get out of the material world, it's too late. But if we invest our thoughts, if we receive Krishna's presence, at the right time we'll jump out of this cauldron and we'll go back home, back to Godhead. We'll not miss the bus. Therefore, it's very important. So how do we practically apply this principle? Very easy. Do you read Bhagavatam? Do you hear prayers of Bhagavatam? Unlimited prayers are there. When we read them, we always read them as somebody else's prayers. When we personalize those prayers and we make it first person prayer, we have invested thoughts. So Kunti is saying, Namaste Purusham Tvadyam, Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how do we say? We say Kunti is saying in the 9th chapter of 1st canto that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No, we say Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We make it our prayer. That's choosing thoughts. And you can add your emotion, your translation to that prayer to make it personalized. Like I'll give an example. This is a simple prayer which Nalukuver and Manigriv chant when they are liberated from the bondage of the tree. So they are seeing baby Krishna crawling. Now, just listen to this prayer. And as you hear the translation, this is an exercise you can do now. As you are hearing the translation, you can make that Nalukuvera's prayer, Nalukuvera and Manigriv's prayer, your prayer. That is choosing thought. Is this difficult to understand? Simple, right? Vani gunanukatane shravano kathayam hastau cha karmasu manastava padayorna smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname vrishti satam darshanestu bhavat tanunam. They are saying, Vani Gunanukatane Krishna. Now listen to this. The meaning of this prayer is what we all can choose to offer Krishna. Krishna, let my words always glorify you. Vani Gunanukatane Shravanau Kathayam. Let me always hear your glories. Hastau cha karmasu. Let my hands and legs be always engaged in service to you. Tava manas tava padayor. Now let my mind always remember your lotus feet. Smrityam shiras tava nivasa jagat praname. Let me always offer dandavat pranam to you. Drishti satam darshanestu bhavat tanunam. Let my eyes always look out for devotees with tilak kantimala and let me feel the joy of seeing devotees. Is this different? It's so simple, isn't it? So you can personalize it. Like for example, I was reading Bhagavatam and I was in a flight. I read this prayer and I closed the book and immediately, Krishna, I chose a thought. Now I'm going to this city. Let me please speak pure Krishna Katha without adulteration. Vani Gunanukatane Shravano Kathayam. Let me listen to the devotees, their realizations with sincerity. This is the same prayer, I have personalized it. Hastau cha karma sumanas. Krishna, let me serve the brahmacharis of Radha Gopinath Mandir because my Guru Maharaj has ordered me to do so. That's the second line. It's the same prayer, but I have invested thoughts. So like that we can. And last line, what a beautiful coincidence. Last line says, Drishti satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. So that is, let my eyes always see devotees. So I was in the plane and I said, Krishna, I'm in US, hardly any devotees anywhere I can see. Let me always somehow get darshan of your devotees. It's blissful. I said that. Just when I said that, one passenger was going from the bathroom in the airplane and he was going back to his seat. He was an Indian body. He looked at me. I was in the aisle seat and he smiled at me and he said, Radhe Radhe. I said, Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna. Maybe, Indian, you must have seen videos, Premanand Baba and so many Vrindavan videos, whatever. So he said, Radhe Radhe. I said, Radhe Radhe. So I felt, wow, it was so sweet. So prayer was immediately answered. So choosing thoughts is not difficult. Just read the prayers from Bhagavatam and make it yours. And if you feel, Prabhu, I can't choose thoughts, I'm helpless. Take out your paper and pen. Consciously, slowly write down your prayer. That is choosing thought. Okay, I'll tell you why it is important. No? Please, before we go ahead, please understand. Choosing thoughts, and what is the second principle? You know why this is important? Because this is the way we communicate in our inner world. How do we communicate in this external world? If you want to communicate, if you want to have a long-term communication with someone, what are the two things we have to do while communicating? You are with someone, you need to have a long-term communication with him. Eye contacts. Okay. What are the two most important things in communication? Wait. You speak something, that is communication. And second, listening. You will talk to someone and you listen to that person. That's communication, right? You will tell them something and you will listen to them. This is a communication in the physical world. In our inner world, with Krishna also, when we communicate, there are two principles: speaking and listening. That speaking happens when we choose thoughts. How will you speak to Krishna? By choosing thoughts. And how will you listen to Krishna? Krishna will tell you something, you have to listen to it, right? When you are present, you listen. Mindful. Is it clear? So if we master these two practices, just like if you become expert in this world in listening skills, there are seminars on listening skills. Stephen Covey's book, how to understand first and then seek to be understood. Listen, speak, how to speak. 30 key steps to present properly, all that they teach. But nobody teaches us how to speak and listen in the inner world. We are taught interpersonal communication. Nobody teaches us intrapersonal communication. This is it. With Krishna, we speak when we choose thoughts. And we listen to Krishna when we are present. Just be present. See, I'm not an expert on this field. Like yesterday I said in the class that I'm only sharing my success stories with you to give you some inspiration. I have a lot of failure stories also. But whenever I practice being present, I have remembered things for a long time. Like I was in one house for Prasadam. They took me recently. And I knew when I went there, suddenly I realized, I've been here 3 years ago. And Mataji had made some prasad I was eating. And suddenly the file started opening inside. Because 3 years ago when I had taken prasad, I was fully present. I was with them, with the children. I was present. Present means I was receiving the presence. My senses were alert, active, not in an artificial struggling way, but I let go the struggle and I was in that love space. I was there. I was present. So what happened? 3 years later, everything opened up. I said, Mataji, when I came last time, you had made pinwheel pizza and pasta. And her lower jaw dropped. You remember? I thought nobody would know this. Even my husband didn't know. You remember it? Oh, she was so happy. And then I said, yeah. And Mataji, remember we made a video call to your mom, was in Vrindavan. She just shocked that I remembered that we called her mother was in Vrindavan. And I said, Mataji, remember you told this experience you had when you went to McDonald's with your family? That story you remember? My God, Prabhu, you came only for 20 minutes to our house, and that too 3 years ago. You go all over the world, and you remember all of this. And she started crying. Oh, Prabhu, you're a pure devotee. So I said, yeah, Mataji, I remember everything, but I don't remember your name. I don't know who you are. So I'm not so pure devotee. So we laughed over it. She got overwhelmed with emotion because she was so happy that somebody remembered the small details. And it is not to my credit. I'm telling you, I was just present. Many of us remember some things of childhood, strong impressions because you are present. Being mindful in Krishna consciousness is so powerful because we are being not mindful to any ordinary things. We are being mindful to Krishna, who is coming as holy name, who is coming as deity, who is coming as Bhagavatam. So this is very, very powerful. Don't underestimate choosing thoughts is one principle. Now, as we choose thoughts, Bhagavatam teaches us, we don't have time, but there are so many instructions on how to receive Krishna's presence. And that's so beautiful. So, okay, one example of how to receive Krishna's presence. Again, Kapila Dev is teaching his mother. Sa chintayet bhagavatis charanarvindam vajrankushadvaja sarorualanchanadhyam uttunga rakta vilasam nakachakravala josna birahadamahad hridayandakaram. Beautiful verse. How to receive Krishna? Think of your favorite Krishna deity. Okay, when I'm in US, especially, I go to Dallas every year, and Radha Kalachandji is supremely attractive. Once somebody says Radha Kalachandji, you become frozen. So what happened? So this verse, I'll tell you first what this verse means. This verse says, Sa chintaye, just receive Krishna's form, deity form, and meditate on his lotus feet, Charanaravindam. So if you see, there are we have two eyes, right? The external eyes we see, and then we can see the form in our inner eyes also. When you close your eyes, then your inner eyes open. Right? You have experienced this? So we take Krishna's form inside through these eyes, and then when you close your eyes, you can see them in your inner eyes. We have inner ears also. You hear something attentively, then in your inner ears you can hear them. Gopis were in Vrindavan, Krishna was in the forest, but the gopis would hear Krishna's flute. But Krishna was not playing that flute, but it was ringing in their ears from long ago. Like I was going for a program in the auto rickshaw in India, and the auto rickshaw next to me stopped at the traffic signal, and it was blasting some loud Bollywood music, some old Mohammed Rafi song which I had heard when I was in college. Fortunately, I don't remember it now, but it was so loud. And then that signal turned green and we went. And when I went to the program, I picked up the kartal to start Radha Madhav. I closed my eyes. And suddenly that song started ringing. I couldn't. It was playing in my inner ears. And then I opened my eyes and everybody looking at me. And I was feeling so embarrassed. Then it took me some time to release that and then enter Radha Madhav's space. So we have inner ears, inner eyes. So Bhagavatam says, take the form of the Lord in your eyes and then close your eyes. Sa chintayet bhagavatis charanaravindam, lotus feet. And what will you see then? Vajrankushadvaja sarorualanchanadhyam. You will see the signs of thunderbolt, elephant gold, flag, lotus flower. And then continue to meditate on Uttunga Rakta Vilasam Naka Chakravala. The soles of Krishna's feet are reddish. And then come on the nails, toenails and the other nails. Naka Chakravala. So the nails are whitish, but they're not ordinary white, they are pearl. And from those pearl-like nails, what is happening, Dazzling light is coming. Josna birahadamahad. The dazzling light, if you meditate on, what will happen? Josna birahadamahad Hridaya Andakaram. The darkness of the heart will go away and you will see Krishna. So I was in this particular house in Dallas. I was leaving to the next city and I said, and they had given me a small gift and I put it in my bag. And Mataji Prabhuji were at the gate. I said, you are so fortunate you are serving Radha Kalachandji. Whenever I see Radha Kalachandji, I remember two verses, one of Rupa Goswami and one from Bhagavatam. And they said, yeah, Prabhu, please tell us. So then I spoke the first verse. And then the Rupa Goswami's verse, that don't go to the bank of Yamuna, that particular verse I chanted. I explained and then I explained that verse in detail and then I realized it was too late. It's time for I had to go to the airport. So then I said, then I explained it and then I was leaving. I forgot that there was a second verse. As I was going out, Mataji said, Prabhu, but the second verse. Then I turned back and I said, okay, the second verse I'll tell in brief. So I then explained, I chanted the verse and I gave the translation. While giving the translation, I said, see, this is a verse that describes Radha Kalachandji's lotus feet. See, there are three beautiful tulsis on the reddish soles of Kalachandji's lotus feet. And then I explained that there are blue and green pearls decorating the nails of Kalachandji. And we need to meditate on this. This is our greatest fortune. And as I said this, both Prabhuji and Mataji, they looked at each other and their eyes were moist and their palms folded. And Prabhu said, Prabhu, please see the gift we gave you. And I opened the gift and that was Tulsi from Kalachandji's lotus feet they had packed for me, not knowing that I'm going to speak that. So this is the way the Lord reciprocates. When I've seen whenever you have a culture of, you try this experiment for 3 days. You consciously 3 days, just like people go for yoga retreat camps. They do 3-day Shravan Kirtan camp. They do Kirtan Mela camps. So let us do 3 days of camp where we consciously do these two things. We choose our thoughts consistently whole day and we receive Krishna's presence. You know what will happen? You will start seeing Krishna in small things of your life. Like this particular incident, it could be a coincidence, but you could also see it as Radha Kalachandji reciprocating with your devotional service. A simple example, I was standing in front of the deities in our temple and I was praying. And then after 10 minutes I was going out when Mataji came, Prabhuji, your mom is so sweet. I was so happy talking to her just now. I said, really? But she is in Bengaluru, I told her. No, she was right here. I spoke to her and she was so sweet. I said, no, it can't be. No, Prabhuji, I met her. We had a long chat. We spoke about you also. I said, really? Then it took me a long time and then we realized, both of us finally realized, it was not my mother. It was Gaur Gopal Prabhu's mother. And then we were okay. Now it's an ordinary incident, but suddenly I realized, 10 minutes I was standing in front of the deities. I offered different bhajans, prayers, but I hadn't prayed for my mom. So I went back casually again. And then again I spent a few minutes. I prayed for my mother's good health, my brother's good health. And then I went back to my room. Day went on as usual. And at night before sleeping, I write this one small diary called, How Did Krishna Show Up Today? So while writing that, suddenly I realized, Krishna sent this Mataji today to remind me that I should also offer a prayer to Krishna. For this is not a great incident. This is not some miracle. This is not some coincidence. But I'm giving an example of how when we have a practice of choosing thoughts and receiving presence, you see Krishna's hand in small incidents of our lives. And sometimes amazing miracles happen right in front of our eyes, but we miss it because we are not receiving Krishna's presence. Krishna may come right next to you. It's possible. Last year, I think I spoke here. I remember very well in the temple, the story of how Hanumanji came to our temple. Yeah. Nobody else could understand it was Hanumanji. Nobody else realized it was Hanumanji. And I realized somehow, and then I gave the logical explanation how it was Hanumanji, because the Prabhuji had spoken Hanumanji's glories. And a few hours after that, this giant monkey comes to our room and waves at our temple president, Radha Gopinath Prabhu. And I didn't realize it is Hanumanji at that point of time because I couldn't connect the dots. I just thought, how can a monkey come? I picked up my chappals to attack the monkey. And the monkey looks at me disdainfully. What the hell you think you are, And the monkey casually walks up to Radha Gopinath Prabhu, waves at him. And then he could have done his monkey business. There was pantry open there with fruits. There were so many rooms. He just decides to turn back and go back to the terrace. And when he turns back, what does he see? He sees me with the chappal ready to attack him. And the monkey comes up to me, hits me on my calf muscles, and climbs up the stairs and disappears. And then I suddenly realized this is Hanuman. And then I was shocked. I rattled off 15 logical reasons how this cannot be a coincidence. Because there is a net that covers the terrace. How can any monkey, any bird or animal come inside? Impossible. Secondly, this temple has been existing there, since 1988, and nobody has ever seen a monkey there. Where did this monkey come from? Because somebody may argue it's come from the governor's bungalow, which is around 8 kilometers away. But why it has never come in the last 35 years? And why did the monkey stop right outside his room? Why did the monkey go anywhere? Like that, I had many reasons. And then everybody was happy. And I felt very happy. I said, wow. Then I went to my Guru Maharaj, Radhana Swami Maharaj, who came to Bombay after a few days. I thought if I get his certificate, then I can broadcast all over the world. So I told Maharaj, do you know what happened? Hanumanji came and this happened. And Maharaj said, really? Radha Gopinath Prabhu is such a sadhu. He speaks Ramayana so beautifully. So I said, Maharaj, so it is confirmed that it is Hanumanji? Maharaj said, amazing, amazing story. I've been here since 1983. I've never seen a monkey. Wow. Maharaj was very diplomatic. He didn't say it was Hanuman because he knew my mischievous intention. He knew what I'm proposing to do. So after a long time, I was going out. I said, okay, Maharaj, so can I believe that it was Hanumanji? I asked him finally. Maharaj said, you want to know whether it was Hanuman who came? I said, yes, Maharaj, it was Hanuman. You put fire on his tail, you will come to know. So whether it is Hanuman or not, whether it is a coincidence, that's immaterial. What's the main point is my consciousness changed. My reading of Ramayana increased. And in our temple, we have Hanumanji deity. And whenever I go to temple now and I offer obeisances, I look at Hanumanji and, please acknowledge me, I'm here. Because Hanumanji, I feel, hit my calf muscles. So I feel, wow. And then Radha Gopinath Prabhu and myself, we are part of the temple council. And those who are in management here, what happens in management meetings. So he's senior to me, he's my mentor, he's my neighbor, he's my well-wisher. At the same time, we are in the same body and we have strong differences of opinion, and sometimes there are altercations. So sometimes the temperatures rise. And then suddenly I realize, don't fight with him. Who is who is this? He's under shelter of who? Hanumanji. Yes, Prabhuji, yes. See, this is a miraculous incident. But we don't have to wait for such miracles. See, miracles are happening every day. If we choose our thoughts and receive Krishna's presence, we'll be okay. Forget big things, small thing. Have you experienced something like this? I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. I'm in the train and I keep my bead bag. My station comes, I get down. As I'm getting down the compartment, I suddenly realize, my bead bag. I run back, pick up my bead bag and get out of the train and continue my business as usual. Has something like this happened to you?
Yes.
That you remember something suddenly? Now, this is an ordinary incident. But because I had a practice that time of choosing my thoughts and receiving Krishna's presence, that night in my journal, how did Krishna show up today? I took Krishna out of my heart because Krishna is there in the heart. Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto matta smritirgyanam apohanam. So Krishna came out of the heart. So take Krishna out of your heart and make him sit next to you in the train, in the dining table, in your office work. He is there next to you, looking at you. So as I was getting out of the train, somebody tapped me on the shoulder. Who was it? Krishna. And what did Krishna say?
Right.
Prabhu, your bead bag. Not Prabhu, rascal, your bead bag. Krishna won't say Prabhu. You rascal, you forgot your bead bag. Yes. So in one way of saying this is a coincidence. I just got my bead bag. Another way of saying this is Krishna is so nice. Krishna is there with me. Krishna is protecting us. So don't you want to realize that Krishna is always there with us? Is this not what our acharyas want us to remember? How will we do that? Only when we receive Krishna's presence. And we also choose thoughts. And the center of this should be Bhagavatam, scriptures. See, because, okay, simple thing. How do we pray to Krishna? Do we pray to Krishna in speech or in thoughts? Thoughts. Because speech, let's imagine you're all standing in front of Radha Golokananda and everybody is offering prayers in speech. It will be a mess, right? So we offer prayers in thoughts. Now, what is easier to, how is it easier to converse with God, in speech or in thoughts?
Thoughts.
Is it easier to converse with God in speech or in thoughts? If you had an option, if Krishna was in front of you, when you're talking to someone, when you are able to speak, you're able to articulate more clearly, or you're able to articulate more clearly in thoughts.
Speech.
Because thoughts is difficult, the mind takes over. Look, we have such a difficult challenge. We are in front of the Lord and we have to offer prayers in thoughts. So therefore, we have to start practicing. I don't know if you have experienced something like this, what I experienced often when I'm praying to Lord, the mind takes over. So I was standing in front of Radha Gopinath in our temple and I was praying like this. Radha Gopinath, please help Sashank and Swati. They are going through a divorce. Please help them. They are such a nice couple. So far, so good. The prayer is good, right? This is intentional. There is investment of thoughts. I'm choosing thoughts. I'm managing my thoughts. I'm praying for a nice devotee couple. I've changed the names, of course. It's not Shashank and Swati. Please help both of them, Krishna. They're such a nice couple. And suddenly the mind takes over. Remember yesterday I said, mind is on the left side, Krishna is on the right. And the mind, oh, that's that girl's fault, Swati's fault. She's a stupid girl. She's responsible for this divorce. So the mind is talking. I'm physically standing in front of Krishna like this. Initially I was praying, Krishna, please help them save their marriage. And then the mind is saying, it is our fault. She's responsible for this marriage breaking up. She's exactly like that another stupid girl, in England. They're also going through a divorce. They're also, that girl is responsible. Both these girls are stupid. And by the way, that girl in England, she looks exactly like your sister-in-law. Remember? Your Bhabhi, she died in that motorbike accident. Her son was behind and she was wearing a helmet and still she was killed. And the son had no helmet, but nothing happened to him. These bus drivers are crazy. How they come and bang the bike. And she died on the spot. We should have strict rules against bus drivers in India. And that accident happened. It was so similar to that bus which trampled upon a taxi near the High Court. Remember? Oh, that High Court accident was gruesome. And talking about the High Court, remember in 1993, you saw a man run with the dragger soaked in blood outside the High Court. It was such a ghastly scene. And that was straight out of a movie. Remember that movie you saw in Metro Theatre? Where the hero was running with the dragger soaked in blood. And the villain had a gun in his hand. But the villain was scared of the hero and he dropped the gun and he ran. What a movie that was. Oh, we had a great time. You saw that movie with Siddharth, Vikas, Ramesh. Siddharth is in Canada, but you're not going to Canada this year, are you? And Vikas is in England. Oh, he's in Birmingham. Oh, Birmingham is that place. Oh, that girl is going through divorce, like Shashank and Swati. Krishna, please help Shashank and Swati. And all the while I'm like this. So after 10 minutes in this 10 minutes of prayer, maybe 10 seconds I must have actually prayed. So 10 seconds I chose my thoughts. Remaining 9 minutes, 50 seconds, the thoughts chose me. And then I come outside and another brahmachari tells me, Prabhuji, how nicely you are praying to the Lord. I said, yeah, See, what I'm saying, I think is all our story, right? It's not my story. So therefore, Bhagavatam is telling us, choose your thoughts. And one of the best examples of personalities who teaches us how to choose thoughts is none other than the Mahajan Bhishma. He is lying on a bed of arrows. See, there is a saying in English, a dead man never lies. Bhishma has nothing to lie. He is about to leave his body. And just when he's leaving this body, he tells his words. The first words he says, Iti matir upakal pita vitrishna bhagavati satvata pungave vibhumni swasukam upagate kvachid vihartum Prakriti bhava pravaha. The first word this is Itimatir upakalpita. Let me invest my thoughts in Krishna. And then he gives examples of what thoughts he wants to choose. Krishna, you are the leader of devotees. You come to the material world to take us back home. So these are the thoughts he chooses. And after choosing thoughts, he expresses a desire to receive Krishna's presence. Tribhuvana kamanam tamalavarnam ravikara gauravarambaram dadane vapuralakakula vrutananabjam vijaya sakheratiras me anavadya. It says the more, let me receive this form of Krishna. Please listen to this carefully. Look at the variety that is there in Krishna consciousness to receive Krishna. It is not stereotyped. It is not that you have to only receive threefold bending form of Krishna. It is not that you have to only receive, like Muslims, Christians have very limited understanding of God. Here, look at the variety, the menu card that is presented to you. And look at Bhishma's receiving Krishna's presence. He says, the most beautiful personality in the three creation, Tribhuvana kamanam tamalavarnam. His complexion is like tamal tree. Ravikara gauravarambaram dadan. He is wearing dazzling yellow garments. And his body is anointed with sandalwood pulp. Vapuralakakula vrutananabjam. And this is the form that Bhishma loves. Vijaya sakhe ratir astu me anavadya. Let me be fully absorbed in the friend of Arjuna. And what is this friend of Arjuna doing? Yudhi turagarajo vidhumra vishvak kachalulita shramavāri alankritasye mama nishita sharir vibidyamana Tvachivilasat kavachestu Krishna Atma. I want to receive this form of Krishna. Look at this, this is far out. Some of you will freak out if you have never heard this. He is saying, I want to meditate on Krishna who is driving the chariot, and the horses, their hoofs are raising dust, and that dust is falling on Krishna's face, and the dust is increasing the beauty of Krishna. In this world, when you go out and play, and your face is covered with dust, what is the first thing you do after you come back home? You wash your face because you feel your beauty has been affected. But here Krishna's beauty is enhanced by the dust that falls on his face. And his hair gets scattered. And he is waving his chadi that is driving the horses. And then look at this. Kachalulita shramavāri alankritase. There is perspiration drops which is falling on his cheeks. And that appears like drops of pearls. You can meditate on so much of variety is there. And then he says, not only this, now the next line is Mama Nishita Sharir. Now this is after this, he says, I am shooting arrows at Krishna. Those arrows are piercing Krishna's body and blood is coming out. So Prabhupada clarifies there. Don't get bewildered. This is like a love bites of a lover. This is not animosity. And then Prabhupada writes there, Bhishma shooting arrows at Krishna is a lover throwing a rose petal that is beloved. That is the flavor he has with Krishna. He says, I want to meditate, I want to receive this form of Krishna who is pierced by my arrow and is rushing to me. So the point I'm saying is you can even meditate on the dust on Krishna's face and receive Krishna's presence like that. The gopis also find this form very attractive. In the Gopi Geet, the gopis are saying, the 10th canto, Dina parikshaye nila kunthale vanaruhananam vibradavritam ghanarajaswalam darshayan muhur manasina smaran Veera Yachasi. They're waiting the whole day. When will Krishna come back? And Krishna comes back from the forest. Dina parikshaye Nila Kuntaleri, his darkish complexion, and his hair is scattered, and the gopis are not able to see his face because the hair is covering his face, and then suddenly, because the gust of wind, the hair makes way for his face to be seen, and Ghana Rajaswalam, there is dust on Krishna's face. The dust, the minerals of Vrindavan are covering his face. The gopis say, when we see this, Ghana Rajaswalam Darshayan Muhur, we want to see you again and again in that form. Because when we see that face of yours, Manasina Smaram Virayaj, Cupid's arrows pierce our hearts. So Krishna's beauty with dust on his face is so attractive. For these are the unlimited qualities of the Lord. Nam Ramayana says this is the way we glorify the Lord. All his qualities are there to meditate upon. Aganita guna gana bhushita Rama avanita naya kamita Rama Rakha Chandra samana Rama Pitruvakya Shrita Kanana Rama 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 Jaya Raja Ram Rama Rama Jaya Sita Ram Aganita Gunagana. Lord Ram has unlimited qualities. Avanitanaya, Mother Sita desired him. Rakha Chandra, and his face is beautiful like the full moon. And he is the one who followed the order of his father and went to the forest. So like this, the point I'm making is, there are so many ways we can receive Krishna. There is no end to this. But remember, two things. What is the first principle? Choosing thoughts. And second? And what is the center of this? Scriptures. Otherwise, the mind will take over. Yesterday we were talking about journaling. Please know, even Adolf Hitler wrote journals every day. Without scriptures, without parampara, without guru, our journal writing can make us Hitler. Because we need conscience, we need guidance. So therefore, it's very important that we meditate on these two principles, and then we will see amazing miracles happen in your life. Srila Prabhupada says that ultimately we want to feel loved by Krishna. You know, once Srila Prabhupada jokingly challenged his disciples, how can you know Krishna is God? One devotee said, Prabhupada, because Bhagavad Gita says. Prabhupada said, Bhagavad Gita is a book. It's just a book. Another devotee said some other reason. Prabhupada dismissed that also. Somebody said, Prabhupada, because you are saying Krishna is God. I'm an old man. Old man can say anything. So Prabhupada defeated all the arguments. So then somebody said, Prabhupada, Krishna is God because when I chant Hare Krishna, I feel loved by Krishna. And Prabhupada's eyes lit up. He said, yes, that is the reason. So please don't underestimate this important part. We want to feel loved by Krishna, and we want to show Krishna our sincerity, and we'll show our sincerity by these two principles. We'll choose our thoughts and we'll receive Krishna's presence. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'm pausing here. We can have some discussions because I can speak more and more verses, but essentially you got the two principles, right? So I'll pause here. We can have some question answers or discussions now. Yes, Mataji.
So we have some advice for, I find one crucial time is as soon as we wake up in the morning to choose our thoughts, because you know what we were hearing or seeing the day before, or what we have to do that day often floods in our consciousness.
Yeah. I think, go on.
We heard, right?
Yeah. You are saying, what are the best?
Advice for how to be careful to choose our thoughts as soon as we wake in the morning, because that's the foundation of the day.
I'll tell you some of the one tip one of my very dear friends shared. He says, when he wakes up in the morning, he's, Vajrasan, sitting on your knees. On his bed, he sits on Vajrasan and he sets an alarm for 10 minutes. And he doesn't get up from the bed till he feels connected to Krishna. Till he feels connected with Krishna. So what he does, he sits on the Vajrasan, he folds his palms and he chooses thoughts. He offers prayers. So his logic is like this. He says, just like there's a crystal clear lake. You drop a pebble at the center of the lake. You It creates beautiful ripples. Similarly, our mind, as soon as we wake up in the morning, it's like a still lake. The first thought you offer, Krishna, thought of gratitude to Krishna, prayer to Krishna, connection with Krishna, that sets off the day's consciousness. So you sit on the bed and say, Krishna, please help me, let me offer this day for your pleasure, whatever. Somehow choose your thoughts. And what will happen? 100% guarantee your mind will wander. And then he comes back gently, again he chooses a thought. And sometimes he is able to connect with Krishna within 5 or 6 minutes. And you know when you have connected with Krishna. Prabhupada's quotes, 11th canto. Tushti pushti kshudapayonu. When you eat food, you know that you have eaten food. You don't need somebody else to tell you that your stomach is full. Similarly, when we have prayed and we have felt connected to Krishna, we can know it. So in 6 or 7 minutes, he feels connected. Then he switches off the alarm and he says, thank you, Krishna. See you again in the evening. Before going to rest again at night, he connects with Krishna. So that's how he chooses, that's how he begins his day. And then he said something interesting. He said sometimes, even when the alarm goes off after 10 minutes, he realizes that he hasn't been able to connect. He was spaced out. He was in a state of stupor. He was like not able to choose his thoughts. The mind was wandering everywhere. And then what he does now he can't sit there eternally because he has got so many things to do. So when the alarm goes off, he switches off the alarm and he says, this one last thought he offers. Krishna, I tried my best to offer my thoughts to you. I couldn't connect with you. I'm sorry. I've got to do so many services today, but I wish to come back to you again. Please help me serve you sincerely. So this is the last final thought he chooses. And then he starts. So even though he is not able to connect, and then nothing, even that he's not able to make, he has it written on a paper. Because the mind is always wandering so much. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj advised his disciples, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said this in one writing. He is advised to write Hare Krishna on a rock and keep that rock in front of you and look at that Hare Krishna when chanting. Because the mind keeps wandering everywhere. So to choose a thought, if it is difficult, do whatever it takes. Rupa Goswami says, Yena kena prakarena manha Krishna niveshaya. Somehow or other, get your mind to Krishna. So this is a great step. As soon as we wake up, we can put an alarm, we can start with that. Somehow connect with Krishna.
And one more question. Like I often think, like why would Krishna love me? You know what I mean? When he has, all his great devotees. Like why? I heard Vraja say she gave Bhagavatam class and said Krishna loves each one of us uniquely. We have something to offer him that nobody else can. And I said, I find that so hard to believe. So I feel it's a lack of faith and maybe lack of gratitude that, it's obvious that he loves all of his parts and parcels. But I have that thought, why? Why would he possibly love me when he has all his great devotees?
This is a beautiful prayer and a thought to offer tomorrow morning. Krishna, why would you love me? Even when you offer this prayer, you would feel loved. See, you're asking this question in a class to me. Ask this question to Krishna. We need to learn to ask questions to Krishna. We are experts in asking questions to other devotees. But we also need to make japa into a dialogue. Right now, japa has become a monologue. The mind takes over. So in japa, we can ask 10 questions or 12 questions. You can make a list of things that you want to talk to Krishna every day in japa. We can give a report to Krishna. Krishna, what is there in me? I am not lovable. Krishna. Even when we offer this thought, we will feel loved. When we turn to Krishna, we feel loved. Like one devotee shared that he says, I have nothing to be, I don't feel grateful for anything today. I'm thinking hard, but as I'm trying to think what should I be grateful for, when I'm searching for what I'm grateful, I become happy. The search itself expands your heart. What to speak of actually feeling, because that's a positive exercise. What am I grateful for? Similarly, what is in it me, Krishna, that I am lovable? And you'll feel Krishna's embrace, Krishna's warmth. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Mind, like he said that feeling the presence of Krishna, is that same as feeling loved by Krishna? Do you mean like that? Or first we start thinking how I felt the presence of Krishna at the end of the day, like how you introspect and reflect. And the second question is, should we feel presence of Krishna in the moment during something happened, or should we feel at the end of the day thinking of how the day went?
Krishna. Would you repeat the question?
I can't. I'm sorry. I got the essence of the question, but you are saying, basically, I see that you are analyzing it too much. You are like analyzing how to know that it is Krishna's presence and how to know whether it is feeling loved by Krishna or whether it is presence of Krishna. This is Satyananda Maharaj calls this as paralysis by analysis. There was a centipede. Centipede has how many legs? 100 legs. The centipede was dancing beautifully. And the frog came up to the centipede and said, "You dance so beautifully. I just have one question. When you are dancing, I see that your 64th leg comes before your 37th leg. And then your 28th leg and your 87th leg, they dance together. So how does this happen?" And when the centipede heard that question, after that was the end of centipede's good dancing. Because he began to analyze. Just receive Krishna, just be in the moment. And you will know whether you are loved, not loved, because tushti pushti kshud apayonu ghasam. Srila Prabhupada says, presence of Krishna, you will know it. It's a language of the soul, it's paravak. We cannot understand it through intelligence mind. If we can understand through intelligence and mind, then our intelligence and mind is greater than Krishna's voice. There is a worm in the neem tree. Neem tree is what, sweet or bitter? Bitter. One day he had a visitor in his tree. Another worm from the mango tree came. And the mango tree worm said, "I've come from the mango tree. Mango is very sweet." So the worm in the neem tree said, "What is sweet?" He said, "You don't know mango. I'm from the mango tree. Mango is very sweet. What is sweet?" For the worm in the neem tree has no idea what is sweet. We have no idea what is paravak because we are neem ka ped ka kida. We are a worm in the neem tree. So Krishna's love, we can only speak about it. To experience it, then you won't have this question when you experience it. Just be present with Krishna. These pure devotees, they glorify Krishna. Like I was recently hearing my Guru Maharaj talk, 3-hour class on Krishna's Gokul pastime. I was like, and only pastimes. And then I remembered something I'd read long back, that when advanced Vaishnavas glorify Krishna, we think we are understanding everything. No, we don't understand. They are speaking, what they are speaking about Krishna is like a man underwater who is blabbering something. You've seen underwater people. So what is that sound? Even if he's saying a lot of things, what do we hear? But he may not be wanting to say that. He may be wanting to say much more. Similarly, pure devotees of Krishna, they are deep in the deep water of Krishna Prem. What they are carrying in the heart, we cannot access. What we can access is some sound they make at Vaikari and Madhyama Vak. Something that comes in this world, which we are able to process through our thoughts and mind and words. Blah, blah, blah. We are hearing, oh, Krishna is Lord, Krishna is beautiful like a lotus flower, Krishna is beautiful like a full moon. Yeah, great, great. Sukdev Goswami also gives that analogies because it's at Vaikari Madhyama Vak. And Burijan Prabhu says, Burijan Prabhu? And Burijan Prabhu was saying in one seminar that when you go back to Golok Vrindavan, the first thing you will tell Krishna? He said, you will tell Krishna, Krishna! You are so beautiful. When I was in the material world, I was only hearing you're beautiful like a lotus flower and a full moon. But you are much, much more beautiful. In this material world, advertisement is over promise and under deliver. But about Krishna, it is under promise and over deliver. So, love of Krishna, presence of Krishna, we can only talk about it to a certain extent. But just be present. Don't think too much about it. Don't struggle. Surrender. Let go. Receive. We want to understand everything. We want clarity. No. Be happy without having clarity. That's how we enter the longing phase. We want everything. One devotee asked Prabhupada, Ugrasen Maharaj had how many quadrillion bodyguards? How can he have so many quadrillion bodyguards? How can they fit into one planet? And if there are so many bodyguards, where would they stay? How many bathrooms would be needed? What is the drainage facility there in Dwarka? We can't process this. This is beyond. So what happens when we are asking these kind of questions? We are living in the determination mode of bhakti. Bhakti, there are two modes: determination mode and longing mode. Determination mode is when we start dissecting every class into life lessons, practical application. Sometimes devotees tell me, Prabhuji, your class was very practical. I could get so many life lessons. So immediately I think, the class touched his head. Because practical classes means we get clarity, control, solutions. But the goal of a devotee should be that I want to increase my longing for Krishna. So you ask yourself, is your determination mode is on or longing mode is on? When your determination mode is on, you want life lessons from every class. Krishna killed Putana. Okay. So if I'm in the determination mode, you are in the determination mode, then our class would be something like this, and you will love this class. Today we will discuss Krishna killed Putana. 6 life lessons from it. Very easy to remember. Putana, P for perseverance, U for understanding. And you will say, yes, P for, yes, amazing class. I got 6 life lessons. Putana represents this. Shakatasur, I don't know how many letters are there. So we start, this is determination mode, where we want acronyms, solutions. So basically we want control. But longing mode is, we don't want control, we want connection. So I think many of us have landed up managing our devotion rather than living devotion. We are managing bhakti, not loving Krishna. We are ticking boxes, checking boxes. Tick, tick, tick. Oh, I did this today, I did this. Janmashtami donation collected, tick. Marathon book distribution done, tick, tick, check. We have checked so many boxes, but have we checked our heart? Are we feeling that longing for Krishna? Did I do anything today by which my longing increased? So that longing will increase when we hear about Krishna happily without understanding some things. Krishna, your today's class was so impractical, so bewildering, so mysterious, but it was beautiful. Because Krishna is beautiful. Why do we always want to hear about Krishna in my terms, that I need to get some solutions? Then it is still subtly self-centered. I want to hear about Krishna not because Krishna can help me solve my problems, because I want to hear about Krishna because it is about Krishna. Krishna is lovable. Krishna is not a means to my end. Krishna is who he is. Wonderful. So sometimes we should be in that mode. So when I don't understand some things, I switch on that longing mode. Like I don't understand 5th canto, planetary systems, a lot of those things. And some brahmacharis give class in our temple. They give technical classes. So that time, what I do? I just listen. I say, wow, he understands it so well. Amazing. I don't know it, but I know someone who knows it. Wow, great. Just be there. I don't have to understand everything. Just being with Krishna, that space, that energy, being with devotees. I think that's very important. What if there is nothing practical applicable from today's class? For example, let's say we discuss only Krishna's Gokul Mahavan pastimes. Nothing practical we got. But we heard about Krishna, and that's an eternal benefit. So we need to go beyond practical solution, analysis. So is that okay, Mataji? So this is a longing mode. In technical terms, it's called Raganuga Bhakti. And when we hear say Raganuga Bhakti, devotees get scared. They think we are becoming Sahajya. Okay, forget Raganuga Bhakti. At least increase longing. Hare Krishna. Anything else? This longing for Krishna will come when we start choosing thoughts consciously. Yes, Ratnadika Mataji.
Mentioned that our prayer thoughts should be based on Shastra. But then it's not so, if it's may not be as spontaneous and so much connection if we're kind of thinking about, oh, is this based on Shastra?
No, you are right. Satsvarup Maharaj writes very beautifully. You got a question? She's saying, should we ask prayers spontaneously from the heart, or should we stick to Shastra, because in Shastra sticking to prayers may not be spontaneous? Satsvarup Maharaj writes very beautifully that many times devotees hide behind the prayers of Bhagavatam. We don't allow our heart to open up. At the same time, the other extreme is we want to pray, but we are lost and confused because the mind is going all around. It's running riot. So Shastra prayers are like something we hold on to as a starting point, and then you internalize it and make it your own prayer. Like I gave the example of Nalkuver and Manigrave. It was not exactly the same prayer I offered. You see, I converted it into my prayer. Is that clear? We take the prayers from Shastra, but it has to be mine. Yes, Prabhu.
That we argue with Krishna.
Not conversion, conversation. Yes. Yeah. It's a dialogue. Prayer is a dialogue. So what happens? You pray like this. You offer a prayer, you offer a thought, and then you pause and you listen to the holy name and you wait for an answer. The answer may come 5 days later when you're talking to somebody or in a Bhagavatam class or when you're reading something. Krishna, that's the way Krishna works beautifully. You have offered a sincere prayer in a thought form, and you are listening to the holy name. You may not get the answer immediately. After 3 days, when you're in the Bhagavatam class, something you hear and suddenly it answers your question. And you know it has answered your question. But you may also hear something which disturbs you. It's like Krishna is not a motivational speaker, remember. Krishna is a heart surgeon. And we don't like, that's why we ask questions in classes. We don't ask questions to Krishna. We don't want to offer prayers to Krishna because Krishna's answers may not come immediately. They may not always be palatable. And to receive Krishna's answers, you have to be patient. You have to be present. Have you interacted with Jananivas Prabhu from Mayapur? You know, when I asked him a question once, 25 years ago, and he just kept quiet. So I thought, he's not heard me. I again asked, he was quiet. I was about to change the topic and he began the answer. Means he answers very slowly, softly. And the answer was so profound, I still remember it. I asked him 2 questions and both the answers I still remember and they've shaped my life. But his answer is not immediate. Krishna's answers are also like that. You offer a prayer, then you wait. Continue to, like I'll give a simple example. It's a mundane example. Please don't think we are trivializing holy name japa, but I'm just giving because it was an issue that was affecting me. I'm just giving an example so that you are inspired and encouraged to understand how to have a conversation. So I was praying like this because I had a late night programs and I lost sleep pattern because I don't get sleep immediately when I go to in the night in the bed because I'm an introvert by nature. I write journals and things like that. So I take a shower. So that time I was not taking a shower. I was just basically, I was coming from program, going to sleep and I wouldn't get sleep. I would keep tossing in the bed. And my sleep patterns were disturbed. And morning I couldn't get up fresh. And all those things happened. And then I would ask my friend, they would say, welcome to 50 plus club. Prabhupada also slept very little. Though none of those answers satisfied me because I wanted to sleep so that I can serve Krishna better. So then I said, okay, the best way is to pray to Krishna. Japa. Externally I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the Vaikari. The thought is, Krishna, please help me. I want to serve you. Please help me get good sleep so that I can wake up fresh and serve you. Please, Krishna, I want to serve you. Then after that, again listen to the holy name, because listening to the holy name means you are listening to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare. Just listen, and mind wanders. Then to get the mind back, offer a thought. And after offering a thought, again listen to the holy name. I did this for a few days. I got no answer. But I remembered, I tried. Sometimes I prayed, sometimes I didn't pray. I was not trying to control. I was from the heart spontaneously trying my best to offer a thought. Then one day, I think many days later, I was in the taxi, I came from the program, and suddenly my heart, I heard a voice, not a voice like somebody telling me something, but it was like a wave, flash. Take a shower before sleeping. And since that day, I never had this problem, because two things I heard. Take a shower. Wow, what a point. Take a hot shower in the night. And then there was this brahmachari next to me in the taxi. I don't know what prompted him. I even asked him now why you said that. He said, I don't know why I said that to you. He said, Vraja Bihari, Sanatana Goswami says in Hari Bhakti Vilas in the 14th chapter that every devotee should, before chanting and before doing deity worship and after getting tired, we should do pranayam. I said, really? So then I tried, that's how I started breathing exercises. So breathing and shower, since that day I never had problem of sleep at night. And I asked him even recently, why did you tell me that day? He said, I don't know why I told you. Out of the blue. So now what has happened? Krishna answered that prayer through this devotee and to that voice in the heart. Sometimes you hear some words and suddenly it inspires you. That is Krishna speaking. So Krishna speaks, Krishna's voice is paravak. Remember, it's not figured out through intelligence and mind. So we should trust the process and offer a thought and wait for Krishna to reciprocate in his own sweet time. Is that okay? Unfortunately, we are control freaks. We want quick answers. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, it's nearing 8:30. Prabhu, you have to take a call when to stop, okay? Yeah. I will not know. Yes. Hare Krishna.
How do we differentiate that this is the mind talking or Krishna talking?
Now, if you're confused, that means it's the mind. Krishna's voice is a voice of certainty. Silent, you'll have silent reassurance. You are like, you're reassured. Yes. But you will say, Prabhuji, but that could be false pride, no? Yes, that's your mind talking. That means it's not the moment there is. Yesterday, I think I was saying, Krishna's voice is soft, slow, and detached. Mind's voice is fast, loud, and attached. That's a simple way you can know. Krishna's voice is not figured out through mind and intelligence. I just now answered him. The same answer is your question. It's paravak. Krishna's voice is, there is a sense of certainty, a reassurance in the heart. You know it. There is no desire to prove it or no. See, it's all, we have to begin with thoughts, Mataji. We can't just, see, we are discussing, all our discussions is like 5 boys or 5 girls, they're sitting together and discussing about swimming, how to swim. None of them have entered the water ever. There's no point discussing about swimming sitting on land. Okay, I think we should move our hand like this and then like this. No, we should do like this. All that is useless. We have to enter the water. Start offering thoughts. And then you will know it. I'll give a simple, okay, I'll give you this example. See if this makes sense. Choosing thoughts to feel Krishna's presence. So I was a book distributor for many years. So I would go on the books and I would say, so there's a local trains in Mumbai. Those of you who have traveled in Mumbai, those local trains have a capacity of accommodating 100 passengers in that one compartment. And generally there are 600 passengers fitted there. It's crowded and people are dangling like this in all kinds of poses. It's free body massage and you are forced to smell armpits of other people. And we were young, passionate brahmacharis. I was 25 years old when I joined the ashram, and now I'm 52, but I can't do now what I used to do then. And I would rush with this 2-3 bags and enter those compartments, push the people and stand somewhere and then shout, Hare Krishna, we have Bhagavad Gita, we have books, please buy them. And we would make announcements and distribute books. So in India, there are beggars also come to trains begging. So some of these beggars thought I'm like one of them. And we became good friends. So it was all passionate activity going on. We would exchange changes and they would say, Maharaj, kitna dhanda ho gaya? How much did you earn today? So we would talk like that. So while distributing books, one day what happened, very important to understand choosing thoughts. I'm coming to that point. So while distributing books, suddenly my techniques clicked. And in this journey, one train journey to one station and back, I distributed 120 books. So those who know the game of cricket, in a game of cricket, there is something called a century. When a player scores 100, it's considered as a big milestone. 100 is like the magic mark. So I had done 120. My bag was, wow, I was like, and when I came back from the station to the temple, it's a 10-minute walk. And when I was walking, I felt like a batsman returning to the pavilion after scoring. I was waving my bag at the imaginary spectators and I was like, wow, 100 books. And then I was exhausted because of the intense book distribution and I got crashed. But morning I could have taken rest extra, but I came running to the temple hall because they announced the scores. And I was sitting quietly and I was struggling to stay awake. But when the book distribution scores happened, I was wide awake. And they announced, and the top book distributor for yesterday, because the highest score during those days was 30 books, 40, maximum 35, 40 in a day. And here is Vraja Bihari who's done 120. So they said, and the top scorer for yesterday is, believe it or not, Vraja Bihari, the score of 120. And when they said one, and everybody roared, Hari Bol. And I was like, I was in cloud 9. And then during Tulsi Aarti, there is Pradakshina, and devotees, Prabhu, 120. No, Krishna's mercy. I'm very humble, but I was feasting on all the attention I got. Next day, after that was 140, then 160, 130, 140. It was like 10 consecutive days I was scoring a century. I was on a high that I cannot describe. I was intoxicated. You may call it spiritual ecstasy, but I can't express my happiness and my state of joy. It was of another dimension. But Krishna is in a movie, there's a plot twist. Krishna is the greatest director of the movie of our life. Then on the 11th day when I go out, nobody brought books. And I'm like, because I'm attached to now century. And everybody is dismissive. Nobody took any books. And that day I did 1 hour extra. And still maybe 7 or 8 books extra went. So I come back to temple completely exhausted. And my score is, I think 33 or something, 34 books. And I'm exhausted, my body is spinning. And the next day everybody knows the score. And they're like, Vraja Bihari, nowadays you're spaced out. Huh? But Brahmachari ashram can be the most humbling experience. If people say, Prabhu, Grahastha ashram is very humbling. Our partners humble us, but you don't know what it is in the Brahmachari ashram. I was like, I worked hard, Prabhu. I did so much. Yeah, I can understand. You might be, yeah, it's okay. And after that, people were like, no more appreciation. And the next day again, 25 books. And I was desperate because I wanted that. So then I had only one choice. When I gave the book, I saw the third day, this lady looked at the book and I took to the book and I was desperate for the score. And Krishna gave me the intelligence to choose a thought. I said, Krishna, you are there in her heart as Paramatma. Please let her take this book. Please. I was screaming with my lips closed. Krishna, please let her spiritual life begin. Let her take a book. What I was not saying was, let me get a big score. I was not saying that, but at least I was choosing a thought. Krishna, please, Krishna. And she saw for a long time and she returned the book. But because I was desperate for a score, I didn't brood over it. I said, okay, next person. I was just running to people. And each person I gave the book, I kept choosing a thought. Krishna, please, Krishna, please, Krishna, please. And then same score. And I come back and somebody asked me, what is the score today? Are you still spaced out? What is the score? I said 30. Hey, only 30. What has happened to you, man? You're out of form. And believe me, I was like at that moment completely peaceful. I was like, yeah, completely unaffected. And next day the scores didn't make any. The kind of peace I experienced that day was a million times greater than all that ecstasy that I experienced, because those ecstasies were mental. It was in the space of ego. Here, I was not a success, but I had sincerely prayed. And I don't know whether Krishna answered me. I didn't get a big score for another few days, but Krishna may not have answered, but I chose a thought. And if I have a choice now for an experience, I would prefer this experience over those experiences of highs that we experience. See, many times, I'll tell you very honestly, many times we feel happy. If you have two choices, to derive happiness from people praising us or to derive happiness from remembrance of Krishna. We will all prefer happiness of being praised by others because we feel that is tangible. But we don't realize that the praise that we get from others and that makes us happy only at the mental and intellectual and ego level. But the happiness we experience when we remember Krishna is a very, very different experience. Cannot be described in words. And those who have done book distribution here will know what I'm saying. It's like, it's a struggle and you have to actually pray. So these are some of the ways we connect with Krishna. I don't know if that helps what I'm answering. Huh? Hare Krishna. Yes, Sajit Narayan Prabhu. We'll take? Yeah.
I just wanted to know, I think partly I already got an answer, that's why I'm quite, I was just wondering, when we do this, you say we should do it under scriptural guidance, scriptural framework, whatever we pray or, and then we read our prayers inside. So this is where I'm getting a little, because it doesn't come spontaneous,
Yes.
It doesn't come from the heart. So is it okay? I mean, sometimes it becomes difficult to emulate that.
Yeah. That is why we have scriptural prayers. If not see, we need some framework. We need some guidance. So let's say you are not able to pray from the heart. Then again you come to Krishna. Krishna, I am unable to offer prayers from the heart. Please help me. Let's say you can't even do that. Krishna, please help me offer a prayer that I cannot offer a prayer from my heart. If we can't do that, then we say, Krishna, please help me to pray that I can offer a heartfelt prayer. Somehow or other, yena kena prakaran, somehow come to Krishna at some point, begin from some point. We have to choose our thoughts at some point of time. Because thoughts lead to feelings. Okay, let's put it very simple. We all want some results in life. Okay, even psychologists explain, results come from what? Results will come from action. You want to lose weight, you want to be healthy. You can't just sit at home and say, I want to lose 10 kgs. It comes from action. You go jogging every day. Results come from action, comes from decisions. You decide, I'll get up in the morning and go for jogging tomorrow. And decisions come from a certain feeling in the heart that feels good, it feels right. And that inspiration comes, then you take a decision. And that inspiration and that feeling comes from thoughts. So thoughts have a direct effect on the result that you want. We can't, and thoughts we have to choose. And thoughts also shape our reality. Sometimes people say, Prabhuji, I want to do what is the correct thing. I want to choose a reality. There is nothing called as choosing. There is nothing called as an objective reality in this material world. Sometimes you have to choose a reality. You can't get into the bottom of, you can't really say, I'll find out what is the truth. So you have to choose your thoughts and choose a reality. Many times it happens. So therefore, somehow you have to begin. Like I'll give a simple example. Mangalarti, I'm getting ready for going Mangalarti. Classic case of choosing a thought and choosing a reality. And I see one young brahmachari putting tilak. And he's humming Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and loudly. And I just stop. Wow. And I'm choosing a thought. It's actually happening spontaneously because of practice. He's so nice. He loves Krishna. Early morning, the whole world is sleeping, and he's so blissfully putting on dhoti, tilak, getting ready for Mangalarti. Krishna consciousness is so nice. This devotee is so nice. These were the thoughts. And suddenly my colleague, my equal brahmachari, my friend who joined along with me. See, when we get a little older in Krishna consciousness, we become smart. Simple things don't impress us anymore. We become cynical. You know, cynical? Yeah, I know this too good. So this friend taps me, hey Vraja Bihari, what are you looking at? I said, just see, he's so sweet, he's remembering Krishna, putting on tilak. He loves Krishna. You know what he tells me? He doesn't love Krishna. You know why he's singing? I said, why? Because he has, he has a serious constipation problem. And last night I gave him a heavy laxative. So his stomach is cleared now. So he's feeling light. So he's singing Hare Krishna. Now this guy is singing Hare Krishna. There are two realities now. What is the reality? Is it because he loves Krishna, or is it because his stomach is clear? Now I told him, thank you, but I choose my reality. My version of the reality, because that helps me become more Krishna conscious. He may be technically right. So we have to choose a reality. Eventually, you have to come to that stage. This is Krishna's mercy. This is Krishna's desire. Somehow you begin from somewhere. Okay, none of this helps. You have some insecurity. You have some fear. Start from there. Krishna, I'm fearful of death. Or Krishna, I'm insecure about my children. Whatever. Somewhere you add emotion. In fact, tomorrow's class is on emotions, right? Emotional something. Emotional intelligence. Yes, emotional intelligence. So emotions is what, that's the next subject we'll discuss, not today. But we have to somehow get our thoughts and add emotions into our prayers. Is that okay? Yes. I see one more hand, Prabhu. Should we? Yes.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the practical point. But thing is, like when you connect Krishna, choose your own reality, that this is Krishna saying, this is Krishna's plan, this is what Krishna wants. Like sometimes we comfortably put the blame on Krishna for our shortcomings. And then, okay, this is what Krishna wants, let me sleep.
And don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So how to, kind of, if I want to go to Mangalarti and I also want to sleep. So I sleep and put the blame on Krishna. So Krishna wants me to sleep.
Therefore, we should not begin with how questions. We should never begin in Krishna. ISKCON, the mistake we do is how to improve chanting, how to become pure devotee. These are the questions we generally ask in our classes. How to become sincere, how to pray properly, all those things we ask. So I strongly feel that when we are new devotees, we should be taught to ask questions, and we should stop asking how questions, and we should start asking why questions. So when I lost 15 kgs last year because of some diet plan, and I became healthy, I was a foodie, I put on a lot of weight, and when I lost 15 kgs, I was a sensation in the ashram. Hey, how did you lose 15 kgs, man? I want to do it. How did you do it? And I would ask them immediately, why do you want to lose 15 kgs? Why do you want to lose weight? Oh, because I want to be healthy. Second, why? Why do you want to be healthy? Because I want to serve more. Why do you want to serve more? Because I want to give this one life to Prabhupada. Why do you want to give your life to Prabhupada? So ask why 5 times. Then how will manifest automatically.
Hari.
Our problem is we jump to how without why, then that how will is unsustainable. Let's say you come to me, Prabhu, how to lose weight? I say, run 5 miles every day. You say, but I'm lame. I've lost my legs in an accident. So my how will not help you. You need to have your own how. But your how will be revealed to you when you have a strong why. Sometimes you should not ask why. Prabhu, why is my life so bad? Why I'm suffering so much? Why everybody is unfair with me? That time I tell them, don't ask why, ask what. What can I do now to improve my relationship? What can I do now? So we should know when to ask what, why, and how. Now don't ask me, how to know when to ask how, what and but these are the three questions: what, how, and why. Your question is legitimate. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not laughing at your expense. I'm just saying that when we ask how, some of these questions have no answer. The answer to them is go one step back. Why? And that why is very, why is provocative. Why questions are very provocative. They make you go deep and they can disturb you. But they are why is the solution for most of our how questions. And many of us prefer to ask how questions because how questions, then the burden of the answer is on the speaker. And I get enough time to again escape surrendering to Krishna. Prabhu, basically what we're saying is I need some little more clarity. I will ask you how, you think of the answer, and I can avoid surrender to Krishna. I can hide behind that how. Dhritarashtra also asked questions in Bhagavatam, and Parishit Maharaj also asked how. Both of them asked how questions. Dhritarashtra kept asking how to help Duryodhan, how to do this, but he never changed. His how was born out of attachment. Parishit Maharaj's how was born out of surrender. You ask yourself, whenever you ask how questions in your life, ask, are you Dhritarashtra, are you Parishit Maharaj? Parishit Maharaj first surrendered, then he asked how. Dhritarashtra only asked how, but never surrendered. We have a misconception that I need some more clarity and then I will surrender. That clarity will come by asking how. No. In Krishna consciousness, the paradigm is you first surrender and then you get clarity. We need to take that first, we need to dive, we need to take up Krishna consciousness, we need to chant more, we need to do certain things for Krishna. And then you will get the right kind of questions also to ask. Does this make sense what I'm saying? Because how can be a very tricky question. That's why I love Romapa Swami Maharaj's answer. Anybody asks him anytime how, he says his answer for every how question is association. How to become sincere, associate with sincere people. How to improve taste in chanting, associate with those who are good in chanting. For every how, he says associate. Niranjan Maharaj has another interesting dimension. I love Niranjan Maharaj's answer also. Whenever anybody asks him how, he says, if somebody says how to become sincere, he says you become sincere by becoming sincere. He says, ISKCON, there are how to do it questions, and the answer to all how to do it questions is you do it by doing it. So this is Niranjan Maharaj's answer, Rompa Swami Maharaj's answer. My answer is, don't ask how, ask why. And my Guru Maharaj's answer is even more interesting. Anybody asks how, he says, just be sincere. So you have now four answers to your question. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Thank you. Thank you.
Please, I hope you didn't feel offended by my answer. Thank you. I was just enjoying joking, but yeah, it was in good intention. We'll end with this one Mataji's question. Yes, last question. Yes, Mataji.
Krishna reciprocates or responds to a sort of.
Krishna reciprocates through association of devotees, through Bhagavatam classes, through 108 ways. So many ways Krishna reciprocates. Through your children, through your spouse, through your employees, through your... So many small ways Krishna reciprocates. Sometimes, like there is one lecture of Srila Prabhupada I urge all of you to hear. This is one of my favorite lectures. There are 4 or 5 lectures of Prabhupada. I keep hearing it many times. This one is July 5, 1971, Los Angeles. This is called Just Learn to Love Krishna. It's a 15-minute class. It's available on YouTube. But on YouTube, it is 30 minutes because they have clubbed 2 classes together. So in this class, Prabhupada is speaking that famous story of... that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India and that Brahman was reading Bhagavad Gita. He was illiterate. So Prabhupada narrates it in a very sweet style. That Brahman was illiterate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh, but you are crying. But the Brahman says, I'm not reading, I'm feeling. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what is that? The Brahman said, I'm feeling that my Krishna is so nice, he's so kind, he's driving the chariot of his devotee. So when I feel Krishna is so nice, I cry. Then Prabhupada says, this is success in Krishna consciousness. When you feel Krishna is so nice, Krishna is so kind. So in this 15-minute class, at least 5 times Prabhupada says, success in bhakti is when we feel what? Krishna is so nice, Krishna is so kind. Because so one girl after one class, she was like 8 or 9 years old. She said, Prabhuji, but I don't feel Krishna is so nice because he's driving Arjuna's chariot. What is so to feel nice? I said, no, because Krishna is also driving your chariot. Then I said, have you ever been in a car or a plane or a road where you feel you had a close shave from an accident? Have you ever felt like that?
Yes.
Anybody here has felt that, oh, they had a close shave from an accident ever?
Yes.
See, who was driving your car? Who was driving your chariot? Krishna. So Krishna came. How Krishna reciprocates? But we are so busy, we don't see Krishna coming through small things like this. Maybe, yeah, the Guru's instructions come in dreams. See, anything that helps you remember Krishna, anything that helps you in your spiritual life is Krishna reciprocating. You can always see it like that, at least to begin with. We are not so advanced to see. Somebody told me, Prabhuji, how to see calamities as Krishna's blessing? I cannot see. Prabhu, how do we see all the troubles that I am having in my life as blessing of Krishna? It's very difficult, Prabhuji. I said, you forget the difficult part. You first see all the blessings you have got as Krishna's blessing. What are the blessings you have got in life? List them down. Can you see them as Krishna's blessing? If you can see all of them as Krishna's blessing, you do what you can do, then Krishna will help you do what you cannot do. We directly jump to the difficult question. See, when I was a student of maths in school, my teacher used to tell us that first attempt the simple questions. And then when you have time, attempt the difficult questions. That's a rule everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, when we come, we first start asking most impossible questions. Prabhu, how to forgive those who have offended us? First you start loving those who are helping you, Baba. First you answer easy questions. First be grateful for what you are happy about. Then Krishna will give you the intelligence to be grateful for the difficult things. Are you getting it? So how to see Krishna? First start seeing Krishna in gross, obvious things. Like association of devotees, family, childhood, parents. Then slowly one day you will be able to thank Krishna even for calamity, and you will be surprised by how you thank Krishna. Because Krishna will help you do it. Krishna will pull you. Krishna is on number 10, you are in number 0. Krishna will not pull you from 0 to 10. Krishna wants you to come till 5. When you come to 5, Krishna will pull you to 8. But if you become proud, Krishna will push you. Then you can't say, oh Krishna, I'm still here, I'm not going ahead. Then Krishna will not, Krishna is detached. You have to keep coming forward, Krishna will pull you, push you. Like a lover will push his beloved, pull his beloved. But you have to be introspective. And you have to keep doing honest, brutal introspection. And offer Krishna your heart. Only then. You can't sit in 0 and say, Krishna, give me love of Krishna. No. You take a step forward. Practice gratitude. Okay?
Would you like to tell us some of your other favorite lectures that you listen to?
This is December first week, 1974 in Bombay. This whole series on Ajamil. It's too good. There are at least 2 lectures are my favorite, December 5 and 6. I always quote them. And then there is one which is like all-time hit, October 19 onwards, Prabhupada, 1972, Prabhupada gave Nectar of Devotion lectures in Vrindavan during Kartik. Those are high class because Prabhupada is at home, Vrindavan is his home. And he is in such a beautiful Vrindavan space there. So these are 3 series which are my favorite. Then of course there is also Mayapur Gaur Purnima series Gaur Purnima series, Prabhupada speaks on Prahlad Maharaj prayers. It was Mayapur, 1975. That's amazing. So these are some of my all-time favorite lectures. But any lecture of Prabhupada actually is beautiful. When you hear Prabhupada's voice, morning I play, Prabhupada says, "So, you rascal." Ah. you feel so nice. You feel, maza aa gaya. You feel loved. Grandfather is, grandfather is pulling your ears. So, you rascal. So yeah, I think Srila Prabhupada's classes, Srila Prabhupada's voice, when Prabhupada says Hare Krishna, we say Hare Krishna, there's a big difference. Niranjan Maharaj was saying once that when a pure devotee says Hare Krishna, that's not letters. He's imported the holy name from the spiritual world. So just hearing Prabhupada say Krishna, it's so shelter giving. Thank you, Mataji. We'll stop here. My sincere gratitude to all of you for giving me an opportunity to glorify Krishna. As I told you yesterday, this congregation is one of the finest, most enthusiastic Krishna Bhaktas, hearers. Very grateful to you. Hare Krishna.